guys! So today I went to school to pick up my official cap and gown, which I have right here. It's got my cap and gown and I've got my tickets. So I will be opening this for you guys later. I thought it'd be really interesting to talk about what I learned about living in Manhattan, just because it's a truly unique experience and not everyone gets to have that opportunity. And if you are going to come to New York, it might be interesting to learn these things and be aware of them. I think something I learned when I was living in London also is that you have to try and teach yourself to be okay with doing things on your own. I always write down a list of places that I want to go and things that I want to see, because that way I can check them off my list and that way I don't miss anything. I know that it's hard to try and do things on your own at first because it can be a little intimidating thinking, oh, like you're by yourself, but it also helps you learn a lot about yourself, and I find that it's the perfect way for me to learn a bit more about photography and explore more places with my camera, because sometimes you get distracted when you have other people around you and you don't get the chance to do what you want to do. And also, living in a big city, there are a lot of people that are constantly going to be busy. They're going to be at work, they're going to be at school, they're going to be at their internship, and you just don't want that to get in the way of what you want to do, because if your time there is limited, especially, and it might be, you never know, it's best to try and see those places yourself. I've never been to a place as fast-paced as New York. People are like always Sorry, there's a string outside. This is so weird. What is going on? Another thing is, New York City is really fast-paced. I've been to other places that are also fast-paced, but there's no place quite like New York. People are constantly on the move, and I find that because I lived here for so long, I kind of adapted that mentality when I'm by myself and I'm walking. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to get to this destination, even if I'm not in a rush. The only problem with it being so fast-paced is that people can be quite rude. There have been many instances where people will just like walk into me and I'll be like, oh my gosh, like what is going on? And they'll be down the street and they're already gone, and I'm like, great, that's great. The thing is, you have to remember not to take it seriously, and I know it's kind of hard to understand at first, because in my mind I also am like, it doesn't take a lot to turn around and apologize, but here you probably won't get one. There is something that you should know about New Yorkers, is that they come off to be really tough, and it's a little intimidating because I've seen people argue and you'll hear people screaming at each other, and they just really want to show off how tough they are for some reason, and I'm not really sure why that is, but it just so happens to be the mentality of a lot of New Yorkers. Just have to be really careful if you're walking around. Also, if you're a photographer, a lot of people will get annoyed with you if they think that you're taking a picture of them. They will tell you to not take a picture of them, or they'll start screaming at you. So be prepared for that when you come to New York City. Being from California, a lot of people don't mind talking to strangers, and I learned when I lived in London that I probably shouldn't be talking to everyone around me, but it's also something that is still in me. Like, I will still speak to other people around me if I'm at an event or something like that. And it's weird here because I think New Yorkers can tell that I'm not from here when I speak to them, and it probably feels weird to them that a random person is talking to them. But the nice thing is, they don't find it rude. They actually are pretty polite when it comes to stuff like that, and they will talk to you and they will have a conversation with you, so don't worry about that. I don't know, I just like to hear people's stories and about their lives. Is that weird? Something else that is unique about Manhattan is that it's kind of like its own little bubble. If you live in Manhattan, you're not going to really spend a lot of time elsewhere, which is why I have a hard time when I need to go to like Brooklyn or Queens or something like that. And I just am like, oh, like where is that? I don't even know where that is on the map. And you don't realize, because obviously when you're going there, you're on the subway and you're just going right underground. You don't know where it's taking you. You just know where you're supposed to get off, what it says on your phone. And it's just really interesting to see how places are different. Like Brooklyn, I find, is pretty different. My friend Rachel and I went to Smorgasburg. Last weekend, my friend Rachel and I went to Smorgasburg. I think that's how you say it. They had like over 100 food stalls, and it was amazing. It was like they had this ramen burger, which was really good, and they had barbecue lobster with garlic noodles and fresh fruit, like everything. It was just amazing and such a fun experience. Of course, it's nice to have all those different types of restaurants there because they are also establishments, so you know the food's safe and you get to try all those places at one place. So that was really fun, and I do highly recommend it. But it's only around in the summer. If you're here when it's nice, definitely check it out. One other thing about the boroughs is that I didn't really know a lot about the different kinds of boroughs there were here, and so one of my friends said we should go to Staten Island, and so I thought, oh, like that's a great idea. We can take the free commuter ferry and just go over there and check it out. And so we went, I think it was a Sunday, and it was like awful. It was deserted when we arrived. It may have been the area that we went to, but there was nothing there, because when we arrived at the dock, the boat pulled in and everyone got off, but then they went straight back around to the entrance to get back on to go back to Manhattan. It's a nice boat ride and it is free, and it passes by the Statue of Liberty, which is nice, but I don't recommend getting off the boat at all. Christmas time in New York, I've got to say, is pretty magical. They have incredible lights everywhere, and especially when it snows, it's really, really pretty, even though it's absolutely freezing, but that's because I'm not used to it. It's my first time living in a place that has snowed, and it not just like little flakes, you know, here and there. But when it snows, it is extremely pretty. I've taken quite a lot of pictures in the snow, and it's been worth freezing to death and being soaked. Something else that's nice during Christmas time is the amount of ice skating rinks they have here. I don't know how many of you guys like to ice skate, but that's like one of my favorite things to do. And Bryant Park has a free ice skating rink if you bring your own skates. You also have to bring a lock for the lockers, which they provide for free also, to put your stuff in, because you're not allowed to take your stuff on the ice. I don't know if you guys watch the TV show Friends, but I love it. Like, I constantly quote it all the time. One thing I find funny about that show is that they had a neighbor that they would see from their window, and it's something that you will have to learn to live with when you're in New York City, is that like when you look out the window, you will probably be looking into someone's apartment and they will be looking into yours. So be considerate, don't do crazy things in front of the window. It's really funny because one of my friends has an ugly naked guy that lives like across from them, which is just like Friends.
Ugly naked guy is having Thanksgiving dinner with ugly naked gal.
You gotta see this.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about the subway. It gets its own entire section because there are a lot of things that I'm not used to about the subway. One thing you have to realize is that the subway is not like a lot of places elsewhere. For example, if I had a station that I needed to go to and it had multiple lines going to it, you always have to check the entrance that you're entering in. I know in a lot of places there are entrances and they all lead to the same place and you enter through there, but here that is not the case. So if you go down an entrance that doesn't have the name of the line that you want to take, you could end up paying to go through the turnstile and then find out that you can't even access the line that you need to get on because you took the wrong entrance. So be aware of that when you're taking the subway, because I've seen people do that and it's so annoying because they're not used to it. You do need to make sure that that entrance also is the entrance to your line, not just that specific station. One thing that I learned about the subway when I first got here is that some trains don't announce the stops that they're stopping at. You may have to look over someone's shoulder and crane your neck and be like, what station are we at? And it's really annoying, but you don't want to miss your stop. So just be aware of that. The weekends in New York City are crazy. Do not expect the trains to always run like they do on the weekdays, because they won't. I've had so many horrible experiences where I'm just waiting on the platform for the train to come and it just doesn't come, and I'm like, what is going on? Make sure you look online before you get on a train, because it could say that some trains are running local instead of express, which could double the amount of time it'll take for you to get to your destination. There are also some trains that don't run on weekends, which is really infuriating, but definitely make sure, because it can be super annoying when you get on the train and you realize it's going to take you an extra 30 minutes to get to where you need to be. Sometimes people who are running the trains do announce where they're stopping, and they may say some other things, but you may not understand them, so it's like, get off the please off the thank you. What? I don't know how many of you guys have seen the video of the subway rat with the pizza. It's disgusting. Like, when I first moved here, I would scream every time I saw a rat, because you literally just see it scurry around across the street, and everyone acts like that's completely normal, and the rats are like this big, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, how do you not find that completely disgusting? But people just apparently get used to it. I still do scream when I see them, but I'm not as surprised, which is really gross, but that's another thing. That being said, New York City is fantastic. I highly recommend for people to visit, because there's honestly no place like it, and there's just a lot of interesting things that you can only see here. And when you're walking around, you may walk into a brand new pop-up shop that's only there for a couple of days, and it's so much fun to go inside and look around and see what's there, because things are always changing. And also, you may run into other random things. I ran into the Alexander Wang fashion show, which was outside, and I had no idea what it was for. And there were just tons of celebrities and people around, and I got mistaken for one of the photographers, so I got to be in the little photographer pit, and I got to see all the models come out, which was super fun. And I just think that it's such an amazing opportunity, and I'm really grateful that I got to be here. That being said, I think I should open up my cap and gown to see what it looks like. I hope it fits. So here we have my cap and gown. It says, congratulations, smile, it's time to walk. So here I have an envelope, and I think the tickets are inside. Can't wait to see what they look like. Ooh. Wow, they look like real tickets. Oh my god, they're like, wow, super cool. My graduation is at Radio City Music Hall, which I think is so exciting. Wow, I can't wait to see what it's like in there, because I've never been. Let's see, what else is in here? What even is this? What is this? It's an academic hood. What is that? I don't know what that is, but we can try and figure out what to do with it. Comes with instructions, so I'll figure it out. Yay! This, I know how to wear this. It's my cap. Well, that is fun. Look at that. Okay. I also love how they all come with instructions, so that's awesome. And the last thing is my actual gown. Whoa! Wow, it's so official. I'm so annoyed because it's really cool. I wish we could keep these, but we can't. Okay, I'm gonna try this on. Alright. It's pretty good. Zipper is really hard to do.
1 hour later. 2 hours later. 1 eternity later.
Okay, I got it. Whew. All right. It feels official, looks official. Okay, here is the hood thing that I have to try on. It says to put it on with this velvet side up, so I think this is how it's supposed to go. Like that. Not sure. Feels kind of weird. It's like pulling on my neck, but I'll have to get used to it. Now here's the cap and the tassel, and it's really cute. You can see it says 2018 on it. I don't know how to, gotta get focus on that. Can you see that? Oh, 2018 tassel. So I'm gonna put this on. Just kind of like looping this on top of it. I don't know if this is right. But that seems right to me, so I'll just go with it. Putting it on. Alright, there we go. Looks good, I think. Woo! Okay, now I'm gonna pretend that I just graduated. I'm gonna like walk down the aisle or whatever. Whoa! I graduated! Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I shall see you next time. Bye! There's over 100 food. No.